Hey there everyone, welcome to my next battle report roundup. Today is a 625 point Astra Militarum versus the Tyranid Swarm. So in this army list, you won't really find anything too crazy because this is more like a learner game. I was just teaching someone that's only kind of recently got into the game. I think this is their second game. So I'm just going to kind of go through how the game went and, hope you like it. Alright, see you soon. Thanks for watching the intro there. So these were the mission rules we used. Since this was the person's second game, I want to introduce, a little bit of secondary. But I didn't want to make anything too complicated, so we just did a nice Dawn of War deployment. Nice and simple. We did take and hold, which is simply, just take a point worth 5 points. Second player scores at the end of the last round. Other than that, still pretty simple. The mission rule is Chilling Rain, which is also very simple because it does nothing. Then, he hadn't done secondaries before, so I decided we just do Storm Hostile Objective. That's a nice simple one. If I control it, you storm it, you get 4 points. If you control it, I storm it, I get 4 points. Didn't really come too much into play, but, when we get to the end, I'll show you how the points worked out. So, I believe he went with a fairly simple list. I think most of the stuff you just get in the basic starter box with the Tyranid army. And, it did okay. I think in the more experienced hands, it could definitely be, potent threat. 30 Termagants, 10 Hormagaunts, 5 Barbaгаunts, some Von Ryan Leapers, 4 Whipper Swarms, a Winged Tyrant Prime, and a Psychophage. Probably about 625, with some upgrades like 630-ish. So my list, I decided, kind of keep it pretty similar. So I went with a Castellan, a Marshal, a 20-man Death Corps squad, a 10-man infantry squad, a heavy weapon team, a meme Cyclops demolition vehicle, a Chimera, and a Lehman Russ battle tank. I think that's pretty simple. We got a big monster against a big monster. We got, a Chimera versus their fast movers. And then, just a swarm infantry versus their swarm infantry. So, I think it was pretty simple. We did it on a nice themed, desert terrain map, which my opponent very nicely set out before I got there. And I thought it was pretty good. I kind of explained how ruins worked, and it might be better to add some ruins in, so we didn't have completely... Well, it wasn't really complete, because we had, blocking terrain being the pillars and the rocks and things. But, I have to explain what a ruin is and how they work, and, so we added some of them. In reserve, I started with just Cyclops in reserve, and I just started with the 10-man infantry squad in the Chimera. I don't believe my opponent started with any units in reserve, which is okay. I believe I had first turn. I was also defender, so I got to deploy first. So turn 1 was pretty simple. I think I just kind of swung around to the left, swung around to the right, moved my Chimera up a bit. My Lehman Russ mostly just stayed in the back most of the game until, maybe turn 4 or so. Just, I had pretty good firing lane on that right side objective. So I just parked it there to get the lethal hits. On my home objective, we had the Mortal Squad. On the Tyranid home objective, they had the Barbaгаunts. So we just had a nice little, mortar versus mortar fight. So it's pretty simple. We kind of matched each other, deployment. They went Termagants on the left, I went Termagants on the right. I went, infantry on the right. We got tank on the right versus Psychophage on the right. So pretty even deployments across the board. Turn 1, I think my opponent deployed their Von Ryan Leapers a bit far. Like, they deployed them in a ruin, but they're still open to be shot at. So knowing how scary they can be in melee, I decided to target them because they're only really the only thing I had to shoot up turn 1. So I took out 2 out of the 3. And then the rest of the game, the Von Ryan Leapers just kind of moved back and forward across the board. Wasn't too scary. Then, the Von Ryan Leaper lost its battle shock. so I was battle shocked, which didn't really come into effect at all. And then Tyranid turn 1, we got the swarm coming in towards me. I had to explain what assault was, or maybe I had to clarify what assault was, that you could advance and shoot. So they kind of took advantage of that and got some shots off. But, against the 20-man, Marshal with the Feel No Pain, it didn't do too much against my Death Core squad, but that's alright. Yeah, so, 10 swung around left, swung around right, some moved towards the middle. Turn 2, though, I put my Chimera up and just kind of fully blocked the Termagants in, so they couldn't really move through my Chimera. And then my opponent decided to charge them. And so we kind of had to explain what, base to base, the first rank has to touch, second rank could fight, third rank would be able to fight. And so I think my Chimera, because he's got, such little tough strength vehicle or weapons against my, kind of tough vehicle, it kind of took them a long time to take the Chimera out. They did eventually get there, but it was, two wounds a turn, basically, locking down a 10-man squad. By turn 3, the Death Core squad moved on to the right side objective. Psychophage finally come out of, hiding, because it's been hiding mostly behind the ruin to stop the Lehman Rush shooting at it. And it survived most of the game until about turn 4. At this point, my infantry squad had been pretty, hit by some Termagants and some Barbagants, so they were down most of the guys, but they were managing to hold the left objective okay. At this point, the Psychophage charged the Death Core squad. I think it did do a good amount of torrent fire. But it wasn't quite enough to, take it out. Well, I guess I fell back. And then on the Tyranid turn, they decided to move up and try to take out the Lehman Russ with the Psychophage. So they did a, charge. And did a few runes. But at this point, also turn 4, the Chimera finally went down, so the Termagants started to try to move towards the objective on the left, but there wasn't really that much left in the game. I think at this point in Death Core, because I'd been on pretty much every objective most of the game, my opponent never really even took the middle until after the Chimera was destroyed, so they lost out on a few points. And like I said, I was about 20 points ahead, so I just said, we don't really have to do turn 5. Because even the big play would have been to try to charge the infantry squad on the left objective. And that would have got them, if everything had gone perfectly, they would have got 15 points. But at that point, it was just, even with that, I would still won by at least 5 points. So we just called it. I think my opponent did pretty good. We did a lot of rule learning. We learned about assault. We learned about, intricacies of melee, move blocking, kind of how the different terrain works, benefit of cover, and all this was new to him. So I was hoping he learned something from the game. Well, that's about it. It wasn't overly complicated. I think the Psychophage also went down turn 5 because I just fell back with my Lehman Russ. Then I fieldified the Psychophage and let the infantry squad just basically take it out. Because, I think I first rank fire, second rank fired the whole squad. Because they already +1 hit because they lost people. So I did that and then did the Fields of Fire, so I had +1 AP. I hadn't moved, so I had lethal hits. So I had 40 las guns, 10 lethals, and then 10 sixes to wound, or neg1. So it was on a full up save. Then with the melters and the plasmas, it was just enough to take out the Psychophage. And yeah. So I'll do the points now. Yeah, it was 54 to 39. Like I said, even with the last turn, had it gone perfectly, I would have still probably been about 5 points ahead. So hopefully, like I said, next time we could play another game and a few more points, and he could win. But let's find out. Thanks for watching. This probably wasn't too informative, but I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.